Welcome to Manifesting Sisters. So today I just want to talk about resetting the mind and living in the moment. You know, so many times we miss out on whole days, hours, our surroundings by being so jaded and thinking about what's going to happen in the near future, like whether it's later on in the day, later on this week. And that's what the dilemma I'm actually finding myself in now. And this is what made me pick up my phone and say, you know what, record this, because what I'm just telling myself is I got to get back in the moment. You know, excuse me. I'm going to work now, and there's a beautiful sunny day. The weather's feeling pretty good. And there's so many things that I can possibly miss or feel like I may be already missing because I'm already thinking about some impending projects, things I really don't want to tackle right away that I have to tackle. And yet, I'm sitting here just thinking about, I'm letting myself miss out on things that I can enjoy, things that I can actually control, basing it off of things I can't control. And so many times we do this, like if you're worried about something that can happen to you in 5, 10 days or months or whatever, it's like, what about today? And then sometimes, you stress yourself out and you go through what you go through and you look back and go like, why was I so worried? Most of the time, but even in instances where everything was legitimate and real concerns, it's like it doesn't do any good to pre-worry about them, to be upset, to be already feeling the emotions of what you're thinking you're going to deal with without even dealing with them. And so I just had to give myself this reminder because I got some things I got to tackle pretty soon that I'm not a fan of. And I've mentioned this before. I have the true battle of, on one hand, I'm sitting here going, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. On the other hand, like, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be so, and it's like, I really just need to chill and wait till I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, because I really don't know how I'm going to feel, but me feeling it today is not going to change anything. It's not going to make it better or worse, and I don't know why we put ourselves through that sometimes, where we feel like, if I feel all this now, it's going to help me prepare for that. And actually, it can make it worse. So many times I have stressed about stuff I'm not much into public speaking. And there have been times where I've had to do, public speaking assignment. And I can remember how I'd be stressed. And then the part that I would do would be all of 5 minutes, and I would complete that part, and everybody would praise me, and it'd be like, okay, I literally lost sleep, barely ate today, gave myself a headache, put my body through all kind of stress for it to turn out okay. And now, even worst case scenario, it would have just been a bad 5 minutes of my life, but think about all the time I spent. And so that's what I feel like we do so many times in life, is like we feel like it's a preparation mechanism, but it can really be more of a hindrance, because it's not allowing us to live our life. And really, we can really hinder ourselves from attracting good things, attracting a good outcome, because we're so focused on the negatives and what could go wrong, and being so stressed about it, that we actually do bring more up on ourselves. So it's just a reminder, and I always like to share what I'm going through in my mental process, because one thing I don't want to do is, even though I call myself the manifested sister, I don't want to ever present myself in such a way that, it seems like, oh, I manifest everything perfectly, I got it all together, because I'm a work in progress. But I've seen enough instances of where changing the mindset definitely has a better outcome versus negative. Like I told you, I'm in sales, and sales is one that I really believe that it's very mentally involved. There's a lot of components that play into being a good salesperson, but I also feel like just with natural circumstances, like a couple weeks ago, I don't even know if it was a couple weeks ago, but recently I had let myself got into a funk. And matter of fact, it was last weekend, last Monday, I remember I let myself get into a funk. And what eventually happened was, I think by Monday night, I think I had a talk with myself and really kind of like got redefined. Like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to feel this way anymore because I am not this one aspect of my life. I got other things. I'm not going to go through this. And I changed my mindset. And I think I felt an immediate difference in my outlook and the things I attracted to me. Like 2 days in a row, I was able to attract customers that were willing to buy, easy to work with. Because I pulled myself up by the bootstraps, but I stopped thinking that, woe is me, I can't sell, I'm getting all the worst customers. And I stopped thinking that way because basically I was attracting that, and that's some of the things that makes me believe in the manifestation and law of attractions, because I've seen both sides of it. Now, I wish I did it perfectly to say, hey, I attract $10,000, I attract $1 million, I attract this, that, and the other. But I will say this too. One thing I've also learned is that attraction can be slow. But if your mind stays up on it, you do eventually get it. And sometimes you might forget. And that's why I always employ people to reach back, think back to instances where you really wanted somewhere. You really felt like you could do something and you didn't have a single doubt in your mind and it happened. I always say that yes, effort is involved, but sometimes if you ever had an experience like where I really didn't expect that, or I'm so shocked, that is a lot of times the law of attraction. Like I've often said before, athletes, really talented people, one of the biggest things they will tell you, I recently just seen even a clip of a basketball player, and by me not being very sports oriented, he's not a player that I know the name of in particular, but I was so impressed with the clip because he actually used the word manifest. He says, I manifested this moment. And he was inside the basketball arena and, I think he was giving a speech. But what he was basically saying was he had visualized one day having that opportunity and receiving it the way he did. And that's what's key. When you have that mindset of this is what I want, and you don't worry about the how. That's one of the biggest things I've learned is that we get so caught up, and this is how we hinder the law of attraction or manifesting, because we'll have an idea, and I'm guilty, is that we'll say, you know what, one day I'm going to get that big house, or one day I'm going to get that, and we're already putting it out there that one day, maybe it might not even happen. Then you follow it up with, but you know what, how? I don't have a good job, and I never win the lottery, and I'll never make it, I can't do, and it's immediately, it's we put it out there and we snatched it back. We asked for it and we took it away. And that's what you have to work on. If you say, some way, somehow, that house is mine, this is what I'm going to get, it will come to you. You will get it. And like I said, part of the reason why it's a mental game first, because if you mentally believe that you will do the things, you will always do things that put you in line with receiving them. So you think about it. If, as that basketball player, if he always knew that, hey, I'm going to one day do that, everything and anything he would have done would have been pertaining. He didn't go work at a bank all of a sudden because, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. No, he stayed focused on it, and he probably worked many years and did many things to reach that level he reached. So basically, when you have the goal that this is what you're going to do, you stay laser focused. You do things that get you to that moment. All right, and I'm going to pause this for a quick second and come. Okay, I'm back. So basically, what I was saying is that if you're caught up in the how, it will deter you from pursuing because you'll feel like it's out of your reach. So if for instance, I have goals of having multiple streams of income. I have goals of really becoming more independent in how I earn a living. And so I've decided to do a lot of things in my time that I can do them that I know that may take time, but I don't want to give up. And so, like I said, when you have thought process of what you want, you will do small and big things that are in line with that. Like I said, any basketball player that wants to manifest winning a championship, they don't quit and go into working at a grocery store. They don't say, well, it'll never happen, and don't do anything. They work and they do the things that line them up to open them up to that opportunity. And you don't put a time stamp on it. Now, it's good to have a goal of when, because sometimes that will prepare you to work even more and to reach that. But at the same time, and sometimes at putting the goal can be exciting, the date or whatever, but at the same time, you don't want to make yourself feel like it's impossible, because, you know, like myself, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to have 1 million followers by the end of March. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be unrealistically. Now, if I wanted to say, you know, one day I'm going to have 1 million followers. Now, I'm going to put in the work to reach that million. I'm going to do things, and as I do so, I can see exponential growth. Now, it can happen slow or fast, but, you know, when I reach it, don't think for a moment that I won't think back to this moment and say, well, you know what? I manifested that. You know, it seemed impossible, but I did. And I'm going to do activities that put me in line with being able to reach 1 million followers or whatever the case is. So that's what this is all about. And that's why the mental game is so important. And trust me, if you just try it, like if you're struggling in any parts of your life and you're you know, you're having a woe is me attitude, just take a day as an experiment and say, you know what, I'm gonna switch this up. I'm gonna tell myself how great I am. Just tell yourself. And like I said, sometimes, you know, I think in America, in our culture especially, and I'll say even myself, you know, we kind of feel like when someone gives themselves self-praise that they're conceited, and we see it as a negative connotation. But if you really look at most successful athletes have done some positive self-talk. And sometimes when we get to peek in and hear, you know, we automatically will snap, oh, they're so conceited and they're this and that. But honestly, have you ever thought about that might have been the mental fuel that they needed for themselves, and we just happen to be the audience? It wasn't like, I feel like the only time that the comment of someone saying I'm the greatest can have a negative effect is if they're like throwing it at somebody else saying I'm greater than you. Now, I feel like if they're just telling themselves like I'm pretty darn good, just like myself, I've had to revamp my mindset with my sales job. I'm telling myself I'm a great salesperson. I'm great at what I do. I can sell my product, because you know what I've been doing for the last couple of years is I've been playing myself short, saying, well, I don't have the experience so-and-so have, so therefore, you know, I'm always putting myself second. I stopped doing that, you know. No, I'm just as good as that person. All right, be right back. All right, just order me a quick coffee. But anyway, so what I was saying is that, you know, tell yourself today that you're good, you're worthy, you're loved, you're lovable, you're a wonderful person, you are happy, you're healthy, you're wealthy, you're attracting good things are happening to you, the good things are coming your way. I would say just try that and just see how your day goes. I mean, and this is a conversation I just want you to have out loud, in your head. In your head, just do it. If you go to the bathroom and if you have privacy, look in the mirror and tell yourself those things. And even if you can say I'm loud, even better with no one around. But if you can't, just say them in your head and remind yourself. And when things get tough, say them again and say them again and say them again. Just do it as an experiment and then track how your day actually went. And reflect at the end of the night. What went well? What didn't went well? What didn't go well? And what can be changed? And I assure you have nothing to lose but another great day. All right, take care. Thanks for being here. Come back again.